Did you miss us, ladies and gentlemen? We're back here this afternoon for race number 2 here on Verdane TV, here with the Canadian Karting News.com Karting iRacing Series, racing the Mazda MX-5s at Silverstone Circuit in Silverstone, England, here for race 1 of Season 2. Just wrapped up qualifying, getting ready to run these heat races. Standing starts here, a little bit different than what we're usually used to here, being we're a bunch of circle track fans, and we like to drive around real slow before we drive around real fast. And great to see these guys back. Everybody's lined up here. Well, half the field is lined up for heat race number 1. Kenneth O'Keefe and that number 5 car are going to be kicking it off here. 5 laps here, the distance in this first heat race. Now I'm joined up here in the booth with Kyle the Kid Young. Kyle, race number 2 of 3 this afternoon. These guys are rolling right now. How's it going, my man? And I guess the intros that I kick off live here work out much better when my microphone is not muted. But welcome back to Verdane TV here, Silverstone Circuit, the Mazda MX-5s. And I lied to you. We're not doing the standing start. We are going to do a pace lap around this circuit here. So we'll get that taken care of, and we'll take the green here in the first heat race of the afternoon. But I am joined up here in the booth by Kyle the Kid Young and Rowdy Wesley Hogue. Gentlemen, race number 2 here of 3 this Saturday. And I think we've got 6 this weekend and 8 all week long. I think we're racing every single night except for Friday. Jam-packed schedule. Lots of action here on Verdane TV. How you boys feeling?
I am doing well. Race number 2 of the day. And once again, we get to call the race here for the Karters iRacing Series. These guys are always a lot of fun playing with these Miatas on the the Silverstone Circuit. Take a left and right hand corners in these cars. They're kind of like spec Miatas, Kyle. They run all over the place here in Florida.
Apparently, the road course racing is confusing Wes a little bit, and he's stumbling over his words. Yes, we are here at the Silverstone Circuit.
Choking.
We're running the international. We're running the international circuit, international layout on this afternoon's race. And Wes, I can make this joke to you. I got a really big problem with Paul calling me the Kid. You know who else was called the Kid?
I believe Jeff Gordon was called the Kid.
He was called Wonder Boy. I was thinking more of that shit. Oh God, whoops. That goofball
Joey Logano?
Steve Rada.
Oh, Steve Rada. See, nobody remembers Steve Rada. I forgot that guy's even alive. I was thinking of sliced bread Joey Logano, but I don't even know if we can call him the Kid. We just call him the ears these days, or on the toe hook. It's typically what I like to call them.
Well, you know what? I guess what we'll have to do is set up a week-long, 7-day contest here at Verdane TV, and we're going to plug it all week long with all the racings we got going on. In the chat, on YouTube and in Facebook, we need you, the viewers, you, the fans, you, our backbones, to tell us what we're going to call Kyle Young. Best answer, nickname for Kyle Young, free Verdane TV t-shirt.
Oh, word.
I don't know if I trust these people.
We'll keep it PG-13-ish. Green flag in the air, and these guys are ripping and gripping, getting on down into turn number 1. You can see over there on the left-hand side of your screen, watching the broadcast, you've got the little track map. The pink dot is the car that we're concentrated on, and the green dot is the leader. And you can see right now the 7 car is right up in there with the pack with everybody. Samuel Lupin currently running second in that Lego Mazda Miata, chasing down that number 5 of the man, the myth, the legend, Kenneth O'Keefe, very, very fast all throughout Season 1.
We saw Kenneth O'Keefe do a lot of dominating, what he was able to do, but never getting a win. He was able to hold his own quite a bit, as we're seeing in this first heat. And again, this is 8 minutes or 5 laps, whatever comes first. You're going to see names like Kenneth O'Keefe, who, again, Season 1 did one heck of a job. Names tonight that might be a little bit more familiar as well, like a Jesse Burnett, a Curtis Fox that we see running. I believe he's sitting about P3 right now. So quite a few names from Season 1 rolling over, some names that are new as well. Maybe some names that weren't running up front prior might be seeing running up front this season. Daryl Timmers is joining us again. Enrico Minotti will be joining us again. Tyler McEwen, who always was fast too. So cool to see these guys again, see some familiar faces, and some green flag racing here. As Kenneth O'Keefe now, Kyle, is under fire from that Lego car of Samuel Lupien.
Coming through here, I believe this is where the start-finish line is on this configuration. I know it is for the main track. It's been a little while since I visited Silverstone Circuit here in iRacing, and indeed it is. Lap number 1 goes in the books, and Kenneth O'Keefe will lead it. He has a mirror full of Samuel Lupien in position number 2. They've got a little bit of a gap back to Curtis Fox in P3, and then Stefan Jeffrey and Apker and Sadu is what I'm going to go with. Rounding out the top 5 for right now. O'Keefe looks to extend that lead here. Nice high-speed, fast right-hand turn into a heavier braking zone. Look at that gap close up for second and third. Curtis Fox all over the back end of Samuel Lupien, and now is trying to find his way around that beautifully painted Lego machine and move himself into position number 2. They'll build up some speed, come into a nice hard braking zone after a quick left, and now Lupien is under fire. Curtis Fox peeks to the inside, trying to get his way through. He wiggles a little bit. That'll allow Lupien to pull back ahead and take advantage. A couple cars get together behind them. It looks like they're going to straighten it out and keep on going. But now it's a 3-car battle for position number 2 as Stefan Jeffrey has moved his way into the fight.
Kyle, with these corners, these hard-braking corners, it's very easy to make up some of that ground, and as we saw Curtis Fox do so on Samuel Lupien. But if you're going to do that on entry, you got to make it stick on exit as well, which is a little bit easier said than done. But a little bit of background from Curtis Fox in Season 1. His name was said a lot, and a lot of the times it was said, it wasn't always for the best reasons. He was either getting taken out or doing a little bit of taking out himself. But nonetheless, he's been fast all race long so far today, sitting in that 3rd position, and looking to grab a little bit of gain a little bit of ground again on Sam Lupien as we come across to lap number 3.
So 2 laps go in the books. We have 3 more remaining. Looking like I think we can get 5 laps in 8 minutes at the pace that we're going right now. The gap between the top 2 is now extended to a full second. Lupien still holding on position number 2 over Curtis Fox. Stefan Jeffrey hanging on to position 4 right now. He's kind of fallen off that battle for P2, and now Ernie Ingrata has moved his way inside the top 5 in car number 6. We're still kind of highlighting ourselves on this battle for second. It's the best battle on the track right now. Curtis Fox is hanging right with Samuel Lupien. He hasn't been able to find his way around him just yet. This is where he made the attempt last time by. He stays in line with him for this lap. Just still trying to figure some things out. Now he'll look to the right side of Lupien. He's got a good run coming down the hill and under the bridge. He will move into position number 2 through this right-hand turn. So move Curtis Fox into position number 2 around Samuel Lupien, and I will see if Stefan Jeffrey can answer the call and follow through.
And for those that aren't familiar with this series, they don't run many cautions. So even if you do see an accident, unless it's something extremely major, don't expect to see the caution flag fly too many times in these races. And typically from the start of our broadcast to the end, we can get it in within an hour. These guys they're quick, fast, in a hurry. They get their stuff in, so to say, and they get in and get out. So the battle, though, is still for that 2nd position, as Curtis Fox has taken it from Samuel Lupien as they go into that hard braking right-hander, which would be turn 1, sliding the tires through, turning some pretty quick laps, and now looking to the left is Sam Lupien. He's going to have the advantage here going down this long straightaway as they go through the little bit of the S's here. He clears back into second and puts quite the gap already there until we get this hard right-hander, and now Stefan Jeffrey putting the heat on Curtis Fox, and now Fox going around. Something happened with Lupien. Lupien just let those guys go, Kyle.
Wonder if he might have cut a corner and had to obey to a slowdown penalty there, Wes. So Lupien will drop back to position number 4 and loses a bit of touch with this battle for second, which is now held by Curtis Fox and Stefan Jeffrey all over his back bumper. Fox makes a mistake there going into that hard right-handed braking zone. Jeffrey not able to find his way around, but that may have checked them up a little bit to allow Samuel Lupien to come back into the mix with this battle. This is all going on behind leader Kenneth O'Keefe, who continues to run away away with this first heat race. We'll be coming to the white flag this time by, and look at Stephen Jeffrey close the gap on Curtis Fox. He looks to the inside, thinks better of it. He'll stay in line for now, and now Samuel Lupien has caught back up to these guys. It is once again a 3-car battle for position number 2. We're coming out of the final turn. White flag is going to go in the air one more time around for heat race number 1.
One more lap for these guys. Right now, Kenneth O'Keefe, long as he doesn't make any major mistakes, he's looking to be in the catbird seat, but that battle is still heating up for the second position as we are looking on board of Sam Lupien in the Lego Mazda Miata as he watches this battle. Kind of just watching, waiting for these guys to make a mistake, and there is one by Curtis Fox. He goes off the track in the big right-hander. That opens the door for Jeffries as well as that Lego machine of Samuel Lupien. He won't only lose second, but he will lose third as well.
So these guys continuing to mix it up for position. Now Samuel Lupien all over the back bumper of Stephen Jeffrey. They have a lapped car in front of them. Not quite sure who that is right at the moment. It's Adam Pearsall going to possibly play a factor right here. We'll see what he does. They're going into another braking zone. They're going to dive down to the inside. Lupien gets into the back of the lapper. Spins him wide. Stephen Jeffrey goes wide. We're 3 wide for position 2.
Oh, he spins up! He spins up!
Stephen Jeffrey going to run away with position number 2 as Samuel Lupien gets into Curtis Fox. Fox goes nose first into the wall, and that's going to lock up position number 2 for Stephen Jeffrey.
Have you ever?
Yes, every time Curtis Fox is on the track, we see him sideways. And nonetheless, it happens again. I can see why he drives so aggressively. He's sick of getting the short end of the stick as Samuel Lupien, as well as Stephen Jeffrey, just beat the crap out of him there to put, they beat up each other there for a little bit, opened up the door for him. They said, no, fam, you ain't getting through like that. Curtis Fox all wadded up in the back. That Mazda Miata has seen better days. But that, again, opened up the door for Kenneth O'Keefe is your winner, followed up by Stephen Jeffrey, Samuel Lupien coming across, and 4th will be Ernie Ingrata, and then 5th will be Sidhu, Sidhu we're going to go with. And then we got Jesse Barnett, Marco Felice, Colin Baxter, Frankie Esposito, and then Curtis Fox. Curtis Fox falling all the way back to 8th position. Man, oh man, tough break for Mr. Fox.
Pretty fun little battle there for position number 2 throughout the entirety of heat race number 1. First one is in the books, and now heat race number 2 is going to jump onto the grid. That one is going to be led off by the 151 machine of Tyler McEwen. Tyler McEwen will be your pole sitter for heat race number 2, and he will have Daryl Timmers to his outside in car number 10. Zachary Shearer's number 2 car will line up in position number 3, and Enrico Minotti will line up in position 4. He drives the 06 car. Eric Dallariva will be your 5th place starter, and Marcelo Panici will be your 6th place starter here in heat race number 2. The inside of row number 4 is Nico Christodoulou in position 7, and then Tim Hooton will be the 8th place starter on the outside of row 4. 5th and final row, position number 9, will be held by Caleb Campbell, and he will have Cole Quinton as his dancing partner in position 10. We have 10 cars in it, 5 laps the distance once again, and if that first one was any indication of the racing that we will see throughout the remainder of the day on this racetrack, it could be a very fun day.
Kyle, I enjoy calling this group of drivers so much. A lot of people aren't fan of these road course races. They're not a fan of the front wheel drive cars, rear wheel drive, whatever the 4-banger might be for that day. But man, they put on a show. They're not the fastest cars, of course, and it's not like oval racing where it's nonstop side by side, but they use up all of each other at all times, and they put on a great show here at the at Silverstone circuit here in these Miatas.
Well, I think that what helps with this, Wes, is the configuration that they're running. They're running on the international course. They're not running on the Grand Prix track that Formula One used to run on. For those unfamiliar, Silverstone did go through a reconstruction project a handful of years ago. So this is not the current racetrack that they do run. anymore in real world. It is a little bit different. But even though it is the international circuit, this is still a 3.61 mile road course. So still plenty of space, but it does do a good job of keeping these guys compact and allowing for some good racing. You got some straightaways, you got a lot of deep braking zones, very wide racetrack, so it helps these guys race a lot, make moves on each other, and keep it very entertaining. This is the first time that I've seen these guys race, and so far that I'm highly entertained with that first heat race. We got one more to go, a consolation as well, so we still got a handful of racing left to go here before we're done.
Kyle, the one to watch out for here in this race will be Tyler McEwen in that Mountain Dew machine. He, at every race that we called last season for them, he found himself in the top 5, and at some point or another, if he wasn't caught up into something, he was battling for a podium position. So Tyler McEwen will be one to watch out for, as well as Daryl Timmers. Daryl Timmers was no slouch either in the last season that we called, so those two are on the front row, and those are going to be the two to watch as the green flag is out here for heat number 2. As you see McEwen get the whole shot here, as we're going to jump down into the first corner of 10. And again, if you're watching, thank you so much. If you're new to us, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on Facebook, on Vidane TV. However you are following us, make sure you tune in, as we love to do some fun things, fun interaction with our fans as well. And here at Silverstone, we're here with the Karters iRacing League, and they are single file throughout the field. Nothing too crazy going on. We see the little Stewie car, the family guy of Marcelo. He gets into the back of Enrico Minotti and sends Enrico around. So the 06 car playing in the sand, going to have to get it up and going. And looks like he's in some anime car playing in the sand there. And we stay green. Again, you're not going to see many cautions here, Kyle.
No, not at all. Not only just with the league, but with just in general road course racing, you can kind of get away with that a little easier than you can on an oval. So Minotti will get himself fired back up. He's going to try to attack Caleb Campbell for position. Caleb's going to give it to him, but now he's got a big gap up to that pack in front of him, where the majority of the field is currently racing. Up at the front, it's still pole sitter Tyler McEwen leading over Daryl Timmers. Timmers sporting a very nice looking STP Richard Petty car on his Mazda Miata. Behind him is Zachary Shearer, and then we have Nico Christodulo in position number 4. He came up from starting spot 7, and then Eric Dalla Riva will be your top 5 as they come out of the final turn and getting ready to complete lap number 1.
Nice wide angle shot here from the blimp. It's not sponsored by Goodyear. I don't know. I never understood why they had the blimp sponsored by the tire. But we do need a blimp sponsor, so if anybody out there is listening, shoot us slide in our DMs and let us know. But you're able to really see a lot of these guys kind of running different lines, kind of biding their time a little bit, feeling their cars out. I believe these guys all run fixed setups. I may be mistaken, but all these cars are pretty much identical. So these guys are trying to figure out what everybody else is doing, where they're strong, where they're weak, trying to see, which corner can I get around this guy? Where can I lean on him? Where can I not? And you got a big shout out to the groundskeepers here at Silverstone, because every single lap, somebody's knocking those orange cones over. Every lap, I'm noticing that.
And Paul, they actually run open setups here, so kudos to these drivers here taking the time to make setups for these Miatas at Silverstone, as well as the other tracks that they cover. Not the easiest thing to do to make setups at the turn left and right, as now, it looks like the Family Guy car just wrecked Eric Dalla Riva as well. Did a little fishtail into the 74, sent him to the back. So Marcelo Panicia is definitely he's going to be the showcase of this heat, as he's found himself surrounded by any of the drama on the track. It's going to be where the Stewie car is at, with big old Stewie's head on the hood. Or the bonnet for those Canadian viewers. Bonnet.
Very interesting paint scheme for sure. And I don't know if you're looking
15,
at that paint scheme.
15 has wrecked on the backstretch.
Trouble for Caleb Campbell, and he's gotten into it big time. The entire front end of that car is absolutely destroyed. Looking at the camera shot himself, looks like he just got a little sideways and couldn't hang on, and boom, into the guardrail he goes, nose first. So that car has seen better days. He will have to regroup. It doesn't look like we're sending anybody home here today. We've got a smaller field of maybe about 20 cars or so. So he'll be able to race in the main event today.
He's still playing in the grass.
Oh boy. Yeah, he's probably handling issues. He hit that thing dead center, so I'm going to assume that he's got some steering problems inside that number 15 car. Looking at his onboard on his helmet cam, it does appear that is the case. These things are pretty fragile. They may or may not look like it, depending on what you think of these things, but getting into the walls, they do a lot of damage, and you can tell he's got some problems. It sounds like we got some more problems with the 16 car of Tim Hooten.
Tim Hooten, Kyle. He got down into the corner, ran side by side with Cole Quinton. He gets body slammed into the wall. Whole front end comes off. He barrel rolls through the track. Oh, boy. And now Caleb Campbell has been disqualified. Not exactly sure what was going on with that, but the 15 of Caleb Campbell has been disqualified. I think it may have been because if I'm watching the replay here, he was just kind of messing around after he got wrecked. Just kind of messing around there. So maybe they're like, you know what? If you're not going to try, get off the pot.
Yeah, probably just wanting to clear him off the racetrack and get him out of the way for the race leader. Sounds like we also have another problem with Nico Christodoulou. He was running in position number 4. He makes a small little error on himself right in front of our Stewie car. Just kind of overshoots the entry to the left-handed hairpin there and the double hairpins and spins himself around. Had to wait for a few cars to pass on by. So now that he's back across the line,
up front, guys.
Up
front, we got a battle. Up front, we got a battle for the lead as Daryl Timmers now starts to close in on Tyler McEwen. Another replay basically last season of seeing these guys, they get spread out and then slowly but surely they start to come back together up front, and then it really makes for some interesting battles, especially here at Silverstone, as you see Daryl Timmers close up on the back of Tyler here coming through the hard right hand corner. Another interesting thing about these cars, if you're not familiar with road racing, is the taillights work. So do the headlights. The full functioning car. It's just like any other Miata that you'd see on the street, except it has a roll cage on it, some improvements to the engine and suspension, of course, but everything is still functional, including all mirrors all the way around. So nonetheless, Daryl Timmers getting all up onto the bumper, as you can see on board, of Tyler McEwen, starting to hit those marks. And Tyler McEwen showing a little bit more tire wear than what Daryl is coming through these corners. You're seeing some more black streaks being left from Tyler than you are Daryl, as we're going to come around here to lap number 5, 1 to go.
Final time around, white flag hits the atmosphere, and we've got ourselves a nice battle for the race lead. Tyler McEwen and Daryl Timmers. Timmers is all over the back bumper as it headed into the right-hander of turn number 1. We'll see who has the advantage. Looks like Timmers is going to get it. He's got a nice run. He's closing right up to the back bumper, trying to get a little bit of a draft. He now looks to the left side for the race lead with Tyler McEwen. They go into the short left-handed kink, back to the right-hander, and McEwen is going to have the advantage there and will take the spot into the hard braking zone of this right-hand turn. McEwen is now going to open it up by about 3 or 4 car lengths, putting some space in between himself and Daryl Timmers, trying to hang on to pick up the victory here in Heat 2.
Tight racing up here in the front. It seemed like Daryl just kind of took care of his tires while he needed to, and now it's time to go. It's time to use up those tires as he looks low, and Tyler shut the door. You thought maybe we were going to see a little crossover move there, a quick left to right, but nope. Tyler McEwen, the veteran, saw it coming and shut the door really fast, but Daryl is now running out of time here as they come around the hard right-hander, high-speed right-hander, shooting down into the left-hander. He only got a couple more shots here. Can Daryl get around him? Timmers and McEwen, as he looks low, little bit of a slip-up from McEwen. He opens up the door, but he's going to have the advantage going into the next corner. It's all going to be about who can outbrake who. Little bit of defense being played by McEwen up front. They power off the final corner, cutting a little grass. It looks like it's going to be Tyler McEwen bringing home the win here in Heat 2. Daryl trying to do something about it, but cannot. Great battle.
Awesome fight for the win in Heat Race number 2. It's your pole sitter, Tyler McEwen, hanging off Daryl Timmers to get the victory. Falling back through the rest of the finishing order, looks like Zachary Shearer is going to come home in position 3. Marcelo Panici put himself in a lot of a drama in that heat race. He will come home in 4th. Enrico Minotti recovers for a top 5 finish. Eric Dallariva will finish in position 6. Colton Quinton 7th. Nico Christodoulou will finish in position number 8. Tim Hooten 9th. And then, of course, Caleb Campbell, getting disqualified, will be credited with position at number 10.
right, so next up will be our Consi. Our Consi is going to be a 14-minute or 9-lap race. I believe everybody makes the show. Am I correct on that?
That appears to be correct. I'm not seeing. It says 0 for transfers into the feature, so I'm assuming that means that everybody transfers to the feature. Let's see. We had 10 in this race. We had. Oh wait, no. Does everybody run the consolation race? Is that what I'm seeing here? Yes, everybody races the consolation race. All right, so this is a bit of an interesting format. We're all trying to learn it here. So I guess what they do there is that nobody transfers for the heat race, so that everybody runs a consolation. This race would be to set the starting. Or no, actually, I think if I was looking at the order correctly, this race, the results from this race, the entirety of it is inverted for the feature, and then we go feature racing. So this is a bit of an interesting format, but it should be pretty fun. I don't know how they do points or whatever, but it makes it interesting to see what kind of strategies are taken here with this consolation event, because if you win it, you start all the way in the back.
It's definitely a different format, not a typical format that we're used to seeing. So green flag is out, and this is standing start, of course, or the last heat race.
No, it is not.
Rolling start. So this is what we're used to seeing from the Karters iRacing series here, is these rolling starts. And actually, no, I apologize. I thought the pace car was going to pull off. He typically does, but that's what they did last season. I think it's interesting that they've gone to rolling starts. Paul and I had a lot of fun calling those standing starts because it made for a lot of drama. So I stand correct there. It looks like we are going to do a rolling start.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun watching those standing starts because you really never know. I mean, especially guys like us, Wes, Kyle, and myself. We're circle track guys. We don't do any of that standing around stuff. We always do do the pace lap and all that good stuff. So there's always that one or two guys that usually jump the start and then they're like, oh, that's right, we're not supposed to be doing that. So it's always fun to see who's got the discipline to really hold that car and then hammer down as soon as that green comes out. But pretty cool. These guys are able to kind of take a slow motion view of the track. You can see everybody's kind of tapping their brake pedals, make sure that everybody can see that the brake lights work. And they are hopefully going to be using some of the brakes here throughout the rest of the race. And a lot of action in those two heat races, so we'll see what we get here in this Consi.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Field working their way around this 3.61 mile, 10-turn racetrack. Oh, we got a problem. Wow, we just had a cart crash under the pace lap. That is the, what number is it here? It's the 22 car of Nico Christodoulou. He goes around for some odd reason or another, smashes his car head first into the guardrail. It looks like he did it all by himself. Did he possibly bump the shifter and downshift unintentionally?
Maybe. You know what? You had me check my my timer or my time in scoring. I thought maybe I wasn't live when you said that. I'm like, wait a minute, they're wrecking? And see that the pace car was still out there, but nope, I am paying attention. Man, that's a rough one, Kyle.
I think he did, Wes. I just jumped on board with him, and for whatever reason, he's pacing around in second gear, moving the car around, trying to warm up the tires possibly. Then he goes to third gear, and maybe he wasn't trying to go to third, try to put it back into second, and accidentally hits it to first and noses it into the guard.
That will do it every time, Kyle.
Yeah, we backed that up just a little bit there, but showed a quick little replay of that. Now you can see he's sitting on pit road with black smoke coming out of the hood of that car, so he's done for the Consi. But that right there, if I'm understanding the rules correctly this afternoon, that's going to give him the P1 starting position here in the feature.
We are inverting the entire field. That should be interesting.
Now, I guess what we'll have to wait and see is if he actually has to start the race in order to get that pole spot, or if it's just going to give it to him either way. So I don't, based off of what that car is looking like in pit road, I don't believe he's going to be back out on the racetrack for this consolation race. I could be wrong. I could be. They do have a fast repair. I don't know if that's in every single session or not, but we are live racing, and we've got a massive
second
moment
place
here. We got
blows
one car
the
going
first...
way wide. I believe that's Stephen Jeffrey. It is Stephen Jeffrey. He went super wide. He's going to lose a ton of positions. Half the field or so is going to get around him, and he's going to have to work his way back up through here to try to get a good finish.
It just sounds like they're kind of wrecking everywhere right now, trying to keep up with all the action. We believe that Callum Baxler where Baxter got into some trouble as well. He got spun out further in the back, but he got it back up and going. There's just action everywhere right now. Again, this is 14 minutes or 9 laps. We should see the 9 laps before the 14 minutes. Our family guy car of Marco Felice, he's under pressure now. That's typically in that 17 machine. That's typically where a lot of the action is. Oh, got one spinning in front of him, however, all on his own was Ernie Engrata in the 6. He cuts the grass, trying to get back on the track, and now spinning by himself is Stefan Jeffrey. He spins it around in the 1 car, just kind of a game of whack-a-mole right now. They're just falling out one by one, while up front, Kenneth O'Keefe still sets our pace, coming on the lap 2. Tyler McEwen in 2nd, and now he's under fire from 3rd of Samuel Lupien in the 7.
No surprises here. Kenneth O'Keefe opening up a nice lead on the first lap of this consolation event. Samuel Lupien all over the back bumper of Tyler McEwen and that number 151 Mountain Dew sponsored Miata. Behind them, we have Zachary Shearer in 4th and Marcelo Panici rounding out the top 5 for the moment. These 2nd through 4th place, kind of a lot what we were seeing. Oh, Panici clips the grass on the braking zone. He gets big time sideways. He's able to gather it up, but he's going to be under fire from Enrico Minotti for position number 5. Minotti looks like he will clear, and he does so. Panici appears to be back up to speed, so he'll only lose 1 spot. Nice recovery there for Marcelo Panici, but not without a total escape from penalty, as now he's under fire once again. Eric Dallariva going underneath of him for the spot. Side-by-side battle behind them as the doppelganger Stewie machine also under fire from, let's see, that is Apkarin Sadu, who just took the position away from Marco Felice.
Too many Stewies for me. And there goes one Stewie, and all Stewie's wrecked. Stewie's wrecked, and Sadu tries to save it, and he does. Sadu with a wonderful save there. Did not expect him to save that, but he did it. And Marco Felice, the one that sent it in there, gets the best of it, able to make up the most out of all of that, as now he battles trying to catch Daryl Timmers with Curtis Fox underneath him. Again, you want to keep your eye on Curtis Fox. Typically, that's where the action's at, but wow, we had a Stewie sandwich.
Looking at the hood of the number 17 of Marco Felice, that picture says it all. Stewie is not amused. And man, oh man, a couple of Stewie sandwich wrecked cars. 17 was able to gather it back up. The other one went out into the beach. So tough break for him. But man, it's some action-packed racing here for the Conti. Third of the way down, 2/3 to go.
Yeah, without a doubt, no shy. Nothing lacking for sure with this one. It's been pretty crazy, and we do have all of our competitors on the racetrack for this consolation event, so this could be a bit of a prequel to what we will see for the main feature here, but looks really, really good. Been quite entertaining so far, so we'll have to see how things continue to shape up. That battle for position number 2 hasn't really died off too much at all. Tyler McEwen still has a mirror full of Samuel Lupien. And, you know, I was just kind of wondering this myself here, Wes, and maybe you guys have some more information that you can correct me on. Instead of this being a consolation event, because I see that this is the same exact race distance and length as the feature, could this potentially be a doubleheader event, and the only difference between the 2 races is that they invert race 2?
If it is, they didn't tell us. I'll tell you that.
Okay. It was just something that I had seen, because both the consolation race and the feature are the same exact length, 9 laps, 14 minutes. But the only difference is that the grid is going to be flip-flopped. The finishers from this race will be completely inverted. So you have the guy that finishes last starting first, and so on and so forth through the whole field. So I guess we'll have to see if we'll have to do some investigation work for ourselves to learn that. But I guess we'll roll with it for what we got for right now. The gap has increased for the lead. Kenneth O'Keefe has extended it by about 0.4 of a second that last time by. Tyler McEwen's got a little bit of space now as Samuel Lupien cleans out a few of those cones that Paul was mentioning earlier on. Zachary Shearer has kind of fallen off of this battle for position number 2. He is comfortably in 4th, and it's still Enrico Minotti in P5.
Kyle, this is your first taste of the Karters iRacing series here. What do you think so far, seeing this? We got 2 heats down and almost through this consolation?
Well, It's been extremely entertaining. We've seen a lot of good racing. We've seen some dramatic moments as we now have a battle for position number 2. I'm not at all surprised to see the speed out of Kenneth O'Keefe. I've known Kenneth here on the iRacing service for many years. He's always been extremely fast and competitive. It'll be really fun if he's able to hang on to win this consolation. What he can do in the feature starting dead last, having to work his way through the field. That should be a fun story and battle to watch. But so far, so good. Silverstone has provided us a lot of great racing action on this international circuit. Again, 3.61 miles, 10 turns in length. It's been great. We're coming around here to complete lap number 4. We do have a new second place competitor. That is Samuel Lupien in the very colorful Lego machine. He got around the Mountain Dew sponsored ride of Tyler McEwen. Zachary Shearer able to close in just a little bit with that battle there. And so far, Lupien, he pushes the track wide. He's a little sideways, and now McEwen going to come back at it, and he will regain position number 2. This battle is allowing Zachary Shearer to close in ever so slightly. They get a little bit of draft going through this part of the racetrack, but nothing too severe. Now they'll head down into the deep right-hand braking zone. McEwen hanging on for now.
Nico Christodoulou, I'm going to go with that. In the 22, just got done cutting some grass at a quick 360 in the back in his red Momo car, but gets it back right up and going. Now we got a little bit of a battle here for the 13th position. Tim Hooton and Stefan Jeffrey in the 1. He passes Tim Hooton in the 16, takes that position and hauls off. Got a car around, and that's Cole Quinton in the 51. He spins out, gets it back going. That allows Frankie Esposito to get up and around him. It's kind of a lot of action everywhere right now, Kyle. Hard to keep track of it all. Curtis Fox in the 3 car and just took the 7th position from Daryl Timmers in the 10. So Curtis Fox put him up 1. But now we got a battle for second. Tyler McEwen in the 151 going low on Samuel Lupien as they head down into the right-hander here. Cannot get there. They are now nose to tail heading through the big right-hander before the start-finish line.
Battle for position 2, not relenting whatsoever. Lupien has it, McEwen wants it, and Zachary Shearer just wants a piece of the action. Continuing to roll in, we complete lap number 5, 4 laps left to go, and this is really the hot battle on the track. You know, Wes was just talking during his last little briefing about how much action that we have going on all over the racetrack, and that's kind of one of the benefits to road course racing is that these tracks are bigger, there are more turns. Yes, drivers do get spaced out a lot more, but it does open up an opportunity for more battling. It's just a little bit more difficult to follow it because you're trying to watch it on a 3.61 mile road course compared to a half mile, quarter mile, 3/4 mile short track like we've been doing for the majority of our time on the airways here at Verdane TV. So being treated to a very good treat, a lot more relaxed. Well, at times you get some more relaxation in because it's not always rapid fire action. But so far, these guys have been proving that statement to be totally wrong. Just constant battling for the majority of the time these cars have been out on the racetrack. Not very many many breathing opportunities unless you're Kenneth O'Keefe that's just absolutely stomping the field right now.
Kenneth O'Keefe, we saw this again previous season from him. There's a couple names that aren't in this race that was in last season that was the only ones that were really able to put it on him. But since those guys didn't show up, at least for this race, it's Kenneth O'Keefe's show right now, where Tyler McEwen and Samuel Lupien seems to be the only two that might have something for him later on in our final feature. But right now, that is your show, and we are single file through the rest of the field. So Kenneth O'Keefe is your leader, followed up by Samuel Lupien in second, third being Tyler McEwen in that 151 machine, fourth being Zachary Shearer in the 2, and fifth being Enrico Minotti in the 06.
Lap number 6 goes on the board. We are 2/3 of the way through, 3 laps left to go. Kenneth O'Keefe's lead is now 4.7 seconds, just continuing to walk away from these guys, looking to pick up this victory fairly easily for right now, or at least he's making it look easy anyway. I'm sure being as smooth and consistent as he is behind the wheel of his number 5 car isn't necessarily as easy as he makes it looks. But that's what the fast guys do, is they bust their butts, they put down some nasty looking lap times, and just make it look easy while they do what they do. And so far, Kenneth is doing that. At the moment, his fastest lap is a 1:35.902. We'll check the laps back with some of these other guys in the top 5. Samuel Lupien, his best is a 1:36.434, a 1:36.533 for Tyler McEwen, and a 1:36.639 for Zachary Shearer. So about on average, Kenneth O'Keefe is running roughly half a second faster than these guys.
Yep, and I don't see that changing anytime soon, as he knows how to get it done around here. Kenneth O'Keefe, he's very consistent. He knows how to hold the line. So while we have a little bit of a lull in the action, let me say thank you to everybody that's watching, as well as AWS Roofing. That is AWS Roofing Services. You can find them on Facebook at AWS Roofing Services. Over 30 years of experience, voted a best roofing company of the year multiple times in the state of Florida. They are located in Edgewater, Florida, near Daytona Beach, and cover the entire state and then some. They are there for all of your home patio, workplace roofing needs. Give them a call. They are the ones for you. AWS Roofing. As well as make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Hit that like button if you're on the Facebook page. We have action all weekend long. This is actually race 2 of 6 of the weekend. We got another one coming tonight around 6 o'clock, and then another triple header tomorrow. So you don't want to miss that. And then Monday will be the beginning of the Florida Pro Truck Challenge Series, week 1 of 6, as they go around USA International Raceway. And then Tuesday, Old Dominion. We're doing a special event for them, the Old Dominion iRacing League as well. They'll be at Richmond. And then Wednesday will be the new Smyrna Speedways World Series of E-Racing, week 3 for them. So a lot of action here at Verdane TV. We thank you all for your supports. And we had a couple people ask, hey, what does it take to sponsor you guys? Well, go ahead and message us at Verdane TV on Facebook. We'll let you know what it takes to sponsor us. We'll put your name out there. We'll get you a couple ads out there as well, get you some business. So the battle, though, is for second. If we're talking about business, Samuel Lupien, he's taking care of business in second, but for how long? Tyler McEwen all over his bumper, and that is allowing Zachary Shearer in position 4, number 2, to kind of work its way up there as we take on lap 9.
White flag is out. You're looking on board with the 2 machine of Zachary Shearer. He's been right with this battle for second all the way. Just hasn't been able to close in enough to really do anything about it. He was with them for one small moment, and then he kind of fell off. But he's got a front row seat to this fantastic battle that has gone on all race long. Look at Lupien push wide here in this right-hander. That opens the inside for Tyler McEwen. McEwen does not take it, and now Shearer reels in just a little bit. We now have a solid 3-car battle for position number 2. Roughly half a lap to go. Who's going to get it? How is it going to be done? Shearer looking to the left side of Tyler McEwen. Now he goes over to the right, into the right-hand turn, hard on the brakes. He makes contact with Tyler McEwen. He moves him a little bit. McEwen trying to lure 3 wide for position number 2. Door banging for P3. McEwen and Shearer go at it. Lupien loves seeing it and is trying to run away. Zachary Shearer moves to P3 as they go under the bridge.
A little bit of bumping and banging in the Miata, but they're not done. Look at Tyler McEwen. Send it in there on the left side. Cleanly sending it in there. Clearing Zachary Shearer like a spaceship. He just shot right for that gap on the left. Did it cleanly, and you see him just leaving black marks behind him. Your winner, though, however, ladies and gentlemen, going to be coming across the line here momentarily, will be Kenneth O'Keefe, bringing it home. Second place looks like it's going to go to Samuel Lupien, and then third, Tyler McEwen, a hard-fought third place, followed up by Zachary Shearer in fourth, and then will be Eric Dalla Riva in fifth.
Great racing action throughout the top 5 right there. And remember, whether this is the actual feature race or the second of 2, we're not quite sure. That was just something that I had proposed since the links are the same. But all these guys are going to be completely inverted. So Kenneth O'Keefe is going to start scratch on the field, and it appears that your pole for this event is going to be the 20 car of Adam Pearsall. So that will be fun. Callum Baxter going to be P2. Apgar and Sadu should be third, Ernie and Grata fourth, and Nico Christodoulou will be your fifth place starter here for whether it's the actual feature, the second feature. We'll get clarification on that and be sure to update you guys once we know. Wes, I know last weekend we did a bit of a promotion during the East Coast Winter League race at Stafford Motor Speedway to get our YouTube channel up over 200 subscribers, and we were successful in doing so. I checked out the Facebook numbers last week as well, and I'm looking at them right now. We're currently at 969 likes on Facebook. I think we need to bump that number up to 1,000. What do you think?
Man, I think that's a great idea. How about this? Let's get to 1,000 likes on Facebook. Once we get to 1,000 likes on Facebook, we're going to take the final 30. That means 970 through 1,000. So I'm sorry, final 31. We're going to throw those names in a hat, and whoever wins is going to get a free Verdane TV t-shirt. How's that sound?
It sounds good to me. I believe Paul's going to be the one that's supplying all of that. Paul, are you in?
Yeah, most definitely. We can definitely do that, and we'll actually have those t-shirts available for purchase on our website, Verdane.net, very, very shortly. Should be dropping the order sometime this weekend, and they should be coming in. Usually there's a 2-3 week turnaround time, so we'll make sure to let everyone know via social media and our broadcast here when those shirts come in.
So there you have it from Paul Strickland Jr. Everybody that likes our Facebook page up to this point until we get to 1,000 likes will be entered to win a free Verdane TV t-shirt. So if you're watching out there on our YouTube channel and haven't reached us on Facebook yet, search Verdane TV on Facebook. You'll find our page. Give it a like. If you are watching on Facebook right now and haven't liked the page yet, make sure to do so. Click that like button, get us to 1,000, and be sure to share this around. As we've mentioned, this is race number 2 of 6 for us this weekend. Later on tonight, we're going to be calling another Tim's Corner Motorsports event. I believe it's the old NASCAR truck at Bristol Motor Speedway, and then we have another triple header coming up tomorrow with these guys again. They will be our second event once again tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. We'll have the Hudson Speedway iRacers group at 1 p.m. Those guys run street stocks at Linear, and then our East Coast Winter League tomorrow night. The SK Modifieds at Stafford Motor Speedway. That's a weekly thing too. So we got plenty of time. We have all sorts of airtime this weekend. We would love to see that Facebook number get to 1,000 before we wrap it up tomorrow night, the conclusion of our 6-race weekend. But if it doesn't happen, we'll be slam banged all week long. Lots of racing coming to you. So let's do it. Let's get to 1,000.
All right, so we're going to see that beautiful Porsche machine, our pace car here. We're going to head down pit road here very momentarily. Up front will be Adam Persall. Again, they inverted the field. If you thought the last 3 races, the 2 heats and the consies were interesting, I cannot wait to see this. See Kenneth O'Keefe, Samuel Lupien, Tyler McEwen, and friends move their way through this field and try to make it to the front. Kyle, all right, $1 to I'll bet you a donut.
Oh boy. You know I can't.
Here we go again, picking on the fat kid.
You know I can't turn down a bet with a donut involved.
Kenneth O'Keefe will get to the lead by lap 6.
I say Kenneth O'Keefe gets to the lead on lap 8.
Paul?
Lap 3.
Paul
Oh my
lost.
goodness.
Paul has lost his mind.
You guys obviously don't know how fast Kenneth O'Keefe is.
Well, but this track is only so narrow. This isn't Talladega, Paul. This isn't our
Listen. He's got 10 miles to get it done. 2.22 times 3. He's got a 33.5% chance of beating the guy in second, who's got a 52.5, a third % chance of taking the lead on lap 3.
And
Calling it right now.
ladies and gentlemen, is Steiner math at its finest. As we are green flag racing, we have a 9 laps, field completely inverted here. They're about to be 4 wide for second, going into the first corner. Boy, oh boy, this might be interesting. And there's contact already.
The top 5 are fanning out all over the place. We're side by side for the race lead. Who is that up front here? We've got Apkarin Sadu and Callum Baxter side by side for the race lead. Baxter has it. Sadu trying to take it. A little bit of a bump from behind. We're still double wide through like the first 5 or 6 rows.
Kyle, if O'Keefe, I think the strategy he's playing is slow and steady wins the race because he's only picked up 1 position and he's knocked out a few cones. That's all he's done so far in the beginning of this race. So he might be letting these guys wreck each other, not wanting to get into the action. Say, hey, let's let them do their thing, and then I'll work my way up through there. As even Daryl Timmers in the 10 going 3 wide. There's a big plow into the big right corner as they go flying in all over the place. 3, 4, even 5 wide heading through that corner. Now O'Keefe putting his nose in there, picking them off little by little by little. Kyle, I think that will be his strategy. Samuel Lupien showing some front end damage on his 7 machine. He got a piece of that. That's where your action is, farther in the back. None but Tyler McEwen, though. He's been able to pick up some spots. And we got 1 around, 2 around. Ignata goes around. Felice goes around. 3 wide coming off the court. There's just action everywhere.
Paul, you should have put... Oh, we got another spin. Someone's getting turned. Nico Cristodulo just turned somebody. What was that? The 6 machine of Verdi and Grata he got into. He goes way wide into the wall. Paul, I think you should have put your money on Tyler McEwen. How about this 17th to 3rd on lap number 1? That Mountain Dew machine is all jacked up on Mountain Dew. What a drive for Tyler McEwen. He's got some damage on that left front. He picked up from the contact there in the left-handed hairpin. So that car is going to be a little aerodynamically insufficient on some of these longer straightaways. But Tyler McEwen, 17th starting spot after finishing in 3rd in that first race of the consolation, all the way up to P3, and he's got some space out the mirror. He can focus on running these guys down in 1 and 2.
Yeah, Kyle, we watched that entire last lap from the blimp just to get a view of all the action that was happening. And at one point in time, you could see that dark green Mountain Dew car go from the left side of your screen to the right side of your screen, passing about 57 cars in about a half a lap. Absolutely on rails, this 151 car is.
If I'm Callum Baxter, my goal is to get out as far as I can.
We got to spin further back in the field. The 43-looking Richard Petty car, Daryl Timmers. Daryl Timmers got spun around. There's another one of the Family Guy cars involved as well, Marco Felice. He goes around. Those guys are going to get it back going again, but not at all what they want to see. Again, no cautions here in this series, so they got a lot of ground to make up here in just a short period of time.
Kenneth O'Keefe went from 19th to 12th last lap. He's still plowing his way through this field, and he's honestly made up quite a bit of time, Kyle. He has moved up to 7th, 19th to 7th in 2 laps. That's amazing, and he's not done yet. As we have a battle for 4th now, Minotti is under fire from Samuel Lupien, and that's 7. Samuel, one of the faster cars all day so far. He's trying to get back up through the field a little bit. Still have a few cars to pass in order to get the job done. Once he gets a Ewan, you can basically say, things have kind of evened out for Samuel, but he's still going to try to get around Enrico. But now we got a battle for the lead here, Kyle. Sadu putting the pressure on Baxter.
Callum Baxter has the lead after Sadu wants to take it over. Baxter gonna escape Sadu for just a little bit here. Probably put about 5 car lengths in between the two of them as they smash the loud pedal, work their way through the gears. Quick left-hander that leads into a hard right-handed braking zone. Baxter looking nice. Sadu actually looks a little bit better, hugging that rumble strip just a little better on the inside of that right-hand turn. And just in the shadows here is Tyler McEwen in the 151. We'll have to see what the gap is officially at the line. But if I were to take a guess, I would say Tyler's reeling these guys in. We obviously know how fast and competitive he is in that 151 car, trying to chase these leaders down. He's got plenty of time. We'll have lap 3 completed on the board once they hit the stripe. So 1/3 down, still 2/3 to go. The battle for the lead continuing to spice up. Apker and Sadu all over the back bumper now of Callum Baxter, trying to find his way around, looking left, looking right, hugging the rumble strip for right now, trying to get a run coming off this turn as they'll head to the main straight now, maybe get a draft heading into turn number 1.
4-car battle behind them for the 4th position of Minotti, Lupien, Fox, and O'Keefe. All 4 of those drivers, 4th through 7th, can be just kind of thrown under a blanket there. Now they're starting to spread out a little bit more. Now it leaves it to Lupien. Lupien's going to look left. We saw him do this last lap and not be able to complete the pass, and he tries it, and he tries to dive it in low, but Minotti playing a great defensive move there. He was a little slow, but he made sure he couldn't get to his right side, but that hindered his exit, allowing Lupien to get the preferred line here, going down into the S's, and he's able to clear him. And look at Kenneth O'Keefe sail it in. He picks up 2 spots there, body slams Minotti. He moves his way up into the top 5.
Well, we know the term rubbing is racing is familiar term on the short tracks. Kenneth O'Keefe made it work here in these Mazda Miatas on the road course at Silverstone. He picks up 2 spots, so now he'll move into position number 5, I believe. That is position number 5. Minotti's going to go back at him, and he dives underneath of him. Kenneth O'Keefe was going to try to turn in. Minotti gets out, and he spins himself around. Possibly a retaliation there, trying to get back to him, but it's not going to work. He spins himself out. O'Keefe will be able to drive away, and Minotti's going to lose a handful of spots. Now he finally gets the car back going. What a tough ordeal there for Enrico Minotti.
If Kenneth O'Keefe wanted to see anything, it's this right here. He has a lot of clean racetrack until he gets to the next car, which is Samuel Lupien. He's got a lot of time, a lot of clean racetrack. So right now he can just focus on hitting his marks. He's already got up to the top 5. He's made this thing realistic. There's still 2 cars that are leading this race that he knows he's typically faster than. How much damage does he have? We don't know. It doesn't look too severe to the point where it's going to be completely concerning, but not exactly sure how that car is handling. Back up front though, Baxter and Sadu battling it out. Sadu getting a little loose coming off the corner there to begin. And there goes Samuel Lupien in the 7. He gets hard into the grass, sliding all over the place. That allows Kenneth O'Keefe to jump right back onto his back bumper here, Kyle. We got the battle is on now for 4th.
Kenneth O'Keefe dives to the inside. He's going to throw a slide job crossover move for Samuel Lupien. O'Keefe hits the grass, saves it, and now he'll fall back behind Samuel Lupien. So we've seen the short track beating and banging. We just saw a dirt track slide jobbing crossover move. Now we got some super speedway drafting with Curtis Fox all over the rear bumper of Kenneth O'Keefe. This is a very versatile race, Wes.
It is, and I'm always nervous wherever I see Curtis Fox. It's kind of like when there's thunder, there's lightning. That's kind of how it is with Curtis.
Wes, we got big time problems with our race leader. The water is blowing up. Heavy engine smoke spewing out of the rear of that 45 car. I'm looking back at the replay. I think he may have just missed a downshift too early.
He missed a shift,
all on his own. He just goes into that tight right-hander and blows the car up. What an unfortunate turn of events for Callum Baxter.
Kyle, you are absolutely right. He missed a downshift and blew her on up from the lead to now nothing. And the thing is, he was still looking pretty. I was going to switch my money to him. He was doing a heck of a job. Kenneth O'Keefe is struggling to get up to the lead now. He's kind of starting to even out behind Samuel Lupien. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Big junk there for Baxter. Baxter did one heck of a job leading it, but the show must go on. And speaking of that, O'Keefe now looking low on Lupien through turn 1, trying to keep the advantage on him here as they're going to start going through the S's. Side by side, here comes Fox. Fox looking to take a 3 wide. He almost clips Keith. O'Keefe puts him in the grasses. No, sir. We're not going to have any of that. He gets a little bump to a Lupien who's able to hold on to it. They go into the hard right-hander. Now here comes Curtis Fox. Looking back to the right side, cannot get there.
This battle is going to hurt Kenneth O'Keefe's opportunity to try to get back up to the front. It's everything that those guys in front of them love to see, but obviously not necessarily what O'Keefe, well, really what any of these guys are trying to do. They're trying to get the spots and run away from each other so that way they can run down that duo up front that has Tyler McEwen all over the back bumper of Abgar and Sadu. Sadu has to do his best to hold off McEwen.
There it is.
McEwen shoots to the left. He drives it in beautifully done past Sadu. May have just let him have it there. So new race leader is Tyler McEwen. This is going to be tough, Wes. Even if Kenneth O'Keefe is able to get around Samuel Lupien and put himself into P3, which he's going to try to do right here in the left-handed hairpin, not going to find success yet. It switches to the right. They are side by side, but Lupien's going to have the advantage coming through this right. Curtis Fox gets into O'Keefe. Oh, boy, I thought they both were going to go around, but they save it. O'Keefe's still trying to hang on to that car. That's going to cost both of them a lot of time. My goodness, this invert idea was a fantastic idea for this race. This is awesome.
It's fantastic for everybody but Kenneth O'Keefe, who is struggling to get back up to the lead where he has been all night. There you saw Curtis Fox put his door into the door the door was a little bit open. He put his foot in, and O'Keefe slammed the door on his foot. So, needless to say, I'm sure Curtis Fox is upset. But back up front, we did see Sadu just kind of pull over for McEwen. Usually don't see that this late in a race for the lead, but it might be one of those things where he was evidently going to lose the lead anyways. Might as well get it done and over with. Make sure nothing stupid happens battling for it. Be able to settle for a second position unless he's able to get back to the bumper of McEwen as a hard braking area here going into this hard right-hander, but not looking good for Kenneth O'Keefe. I think we were all wrong on what lap he's going to get to the lead. Guys, I don't see him getting back up there. I think it's just too little too late at this point.
I really don't either, Wes. I think he's got too much ground to make up, not enough time, as you just said. This is looking like it's going to be either Tyler McEwen or Apker and Sadu. And with the way that Sadu just kind of let McEwen go, I don't really know if he's going to have anything to fight for him. So far, he's doing a good job hanging tough with him, but he's not really gaining. Definitely not losing any time, but he's not really reeling him in any. They'll come around this final right-handed turn and head down the front stretch. Popsicle sticks are going to go into the air. We will have 2 laps of racing to go. It's going to be either Tyler McEwen or Apker and Sadu. That gap back to Lupien, O'Keefe, and Fox is just too great with 2 laps to go to be made up. But still, one amazing run for both Tyler McEwen and Kenneth O'Keefe. They were the top 3 finishers in that first race there. Had to come from the back. McEwen was 17th to the lead. O'Keefe 20th to 4th. So great drives for those 2 drivers either way.
And tough break for Daryl Timmers. We saw him run strong in his heat race as well as the Consi, and unfortunately wasn't able to get away from the wrecks and all the bad luck. So we do have a change for that 3rd position as O'Keefe just barrels by the of Samuel Lupien, and Lupien getting right back to his bumper, gave him a little shot, but now I think O'Keefe's going to drive off into the sunset. It's Curtis Fox takes out a couple of the orange cones, tries to get onto Lupien as well. So I believe that you see your top 3 right now unless something spectacular happens, which we can't rule out. We saw Callum Baxter blow the motor while leading.
Yeah, you have to absolutely have to be perfect. We ride on board now with the 3 machine of Curtis Fox. You're getting a colorful view of that Lego machine of Samuel Lupien, and you can see Kenneth O'Keefe starting to distance himself from these 2 guys as we get ready to take the white flag here in just a few more turns. These guys, all 3 of these guys here, Kenneth O'Keefe, Curtis Fox, and Samuel Lupien, we've seen their strengths throughout the entirety of the day. O'Keefe getting a little wide there, clipping the grass, trying to escape this battle. I don't think he's going to have enough time to catch up to Apker and Sadu. Sadu has lost touch with Tyler McEwen. White flag is going to go into the air this time by Tyler McEwen for the white flag. Final lap around for him. Again, just such an impressive drive. He still has 1 more lap to put it all together. He will have some lap traffic to deal with. In front of him is Frankie Esposito in the 21 car. That is the 17th place machine. But with nobody else really around, it should be a pretty easy obstacle to get through.
Tyler McEwen last season put on one heck of a show. Any track that he went to, he's very smooth. It's going to be, again, it's going to take something special to take this win from him as he's hard onto the brakes, going into the hard right-hander here, going towards the backside of the track. Looks like everything's kind of calmed down now. If there's going to be a battle, it's going to be Curtis Fox, who is working on Samuel Lupien here. He's going to try to work on him for that 4th position. He's not in a favorable spot right now, right at his right rear quarter panel, just flirting with that white line here. The 3 of Curtis Fox, hard braking area. He slides it in, keep it on the track so you don't get a penalty. Hard back on the gas, opens the door back up for Lupien, keeps his panel there, trying to hold on to it, and that is your battle right now for the 4th position.
Best battle on the racetrack to end this race. We're side by side for P4. Lupien going to take it through the right-handed turn. They'll now head to a heavy braking left, about 3 car lengths in between these 2 cars. Double hairpins coming up. Curtis Fox trying to find his way back around. He looks to the inside. Lupien slams the door shut. Back up front, though, Tyler McEwen and the 151 machine started in position number 17, drove all the way through the field to the front, and he will capture this victory here in what is either the actual feature, the second feature, whichever they consider it. All that we know for sure is that Tyler McEwen is a winner here this afternoon at Silverstone Circuit. Apker and Sadu taking advantage of the consolation Invert, he will finish in second. Kenneth O'Keefe started dead last. He also moves up 17. Well, actually, I think, yeah, he will get the hard charger, moving up 17 spots, one more than Tyler McEwen did, to finish in position number 3. Samuel Lupien able to hold off Curtis Fox for 4th. Fox will round out your top 5 with Zachary Shearer in 6th. Eric Dallariva in 7th. Marcelo Panici in 8th, Stephen Jeffrey in 9th, and Daryl Timmers will round out your top 10 finishers.
All right, so once again, a new season here for us with the Karters iRacing series, and once again they put on a show. And I'll tell you what, it's a little bit different from what we're used to calling. We're typically used to calling, oval races, short track races, super speedway races. It's not every day we get to call these 4 cylinders at a road course, but man, they put on one of the better shows.
They sure did, and it shows the versatility that we're willing to do here on Verdane TV. We do call a lot of short track racing, but it really doesn't matter if it's a short track, a NASCAR oval, a road course, a super speedway, a dirt track, a rally cross race, whatever it is, we're willing to tackle it. We all love motorsports here at Verdane TV, and it's awesome to see something a little bit different coming to you guys from our airwaves, and I think we were treated to a very good show. We will be back with these Karters iRacing Series drivers tomorrow afternoon, same time, 3 o'clock p.m. Do we know what and where we will be racing with these guys?
As a matter of fact, we do not. It's kind of a surprise, and really the only way you're going to be able to find out is if you come on out and check out Verdane TV tomorrow afternoon. Same start time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, man, great show by these guys. It's always fun to watch the Karters iRacing series. Like you said earlier, they're very innovative, I think is a good word for them. It's a lot of dirt style racing, road style racing, a lot of different mixes and matches and different driving styles in here. But fantastic win there for the 151 machine of Tyler McEwen, and just a shout out to the entire McEwen clan. A lot of YouTube chat with those guys as well as Facebook, and there's a lot of new likes on the Facebook page. I don't think we're quite there at 1,000, but that's definitely going to be coming on. But great way to cap off race number 2 of 3 for today and race number 2 of 6 for the weekend. We're going to dust all this stuff off and kind of roll all the equipment up and get everything packed up, ready to go for Bristol tonight. Tim's Corner Motorsports is bringing us the Legacy Trucks at the last Great E Coliseum, so very excited to check that out. And as you mentioned, Kyle, tomorrow Karters iRacing Series returns for race number 2 or races number 3 and 4 of season 2. We're gonna check that out after this race with the league administrators and figure out exactly what the deal is with that. But definitely a unique thing there. And the Hudson iRacers, Hudson Speedway iRacing Group, they're going to be with us at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And as mentioned earlier on, the East Coast Winter League, SK Modifies at Stafford Motor Speedway, those guys are going to be joining us tomorrow night, prime time at 9 o'clock. And then a big week next week, Monday night, race number 1 in the Florida Pro Cup, the Florida Pro Truck Series. That's going to be a very cool event, racing 3 tracks from down in Florida for the next 6 weeks. Very, very cool. And then Tuesday night, very special event. We're doing the Old Dominion Raceway reunion. And that's going to be big fun because we're doing about an hour-long pre-show. Going to have a lot of the old school guys at the track, kind of up here telling some stories and all that good stuff. So don't miss that one. That's going to be a big, big show. Very excited for that. And then Wednesday, speaking of excitement, we're back at New Smyrna for the New Smyrna World Series of Esports, brought to us by the Edgewater Screens Company, and those guys definitely helped us out in a big way, so shout out to them. And, man, Thursday night, New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Busch National Series, Busch North Series, check that. Final race of the season. John Peters has already clinched the championship because he's won about 87 races all season long, but final race for those guys Thursday night, and then back here Friday for Tim's Corner Motorsports, and then Saturday, Sunday, another pair of races here for the Karters iRacing Group. But lots of action here at Verdane TV. Thank you guys so much for joining us this afternoon. We hope you come on back tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tim's Corner Motorsports brings us out to Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee for the Legacy Trucks, and that's going to be a really, really cool show. I also keep hearing rumors there's going to be some dirt racing and some rallycross racing coming out of Tim's Corner Motorsports right here on Verdane TV. But thank you guys for joining us this afternoon. Hopefully we'll see you this evening. when we bring all of this production stuff out and we do this little broadcast thing that we do, and we do it live. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you later on tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway.